Scammers make most of their money preying off of desperate people. And if there's one word for many of us job seekers in this current job market, it's desperate. People are doing whatever they have to do to land new work. And the unfortunate thing is, sometimes you don't think rationally. Sometimes you don't think things completely through. And that is how you fall victim to scams. Now, we're not talking about doing anything sketchy or crazy. We're talking about people who are just applying to jobs online. But you can't even have your guard down there because you don't know if that's going to lead to scammers trying to steal your identity, trying to steal your credit card information, trying to steal your banking account passwords. And it's really unfortunate, but I want to talk about some of these scams and some other things that I found on social media here in this video today. Our first post is from LinkedIn, and Ron says, "Alert, new scam found affecting candidates seeking employment. Observation. On Friday at 1 p.m., 3 quote-unquote recruiters contacted me about a job lead that appeared to be legitimate. On Monday, I responded to one of them that had asked for a resume to discuss the opportunity. Within 10 minutes, I had a reply that the position was quote-unquote on hold and that I would be contacted if it reopened. While it is certainly possible this could be legitimate, this is not the first time this occurrence has been observed." And I hate to say it, but in today's job market, it's DTA. Don't trust anybody because people are out with bad intentions on the top of their brain. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, what can you get from a resume? Well, it depends what kind of information you have on there. Hopefully you're not putting too much information, but I mean, you at least probably have your government name and you have an email address. So at least they can sell your at least first name and email address to people who will then send you emails about other things or about fake jobs. And then those fake jobs can be where they ask for social security number, credit card information, etc. And then some people have their permanent address, so they can send you something in the mail, or they have an email and they have your permanent mailing address and they could do some less than desirable things with that information. But let's continue. Recommendation: to all candidates seeking employment, keep a public copy of your resume handy, one with your contact details removed. Keep only your LinkedIn profile address and possibly your email, professional prerogative. If a quote-unquote recruiter contacts you seeking personal information, as one might see on a resume, only to tell you the job does not actually exist at that time, LinkedIn does provide you the ability to block and report the offender. What you can do about it: please feel free to repost this across your networks to all you may know who are seeking employment. Maybe together, we can shut down these scammers, or at least impede the process. Yeah, I think you don't want to give out too much personal information too soon. And yes, if you do just have your LinkedIn information there, really everyone, whether you like it or not, in 2025 should have access to LinkedIn, especially if you're a recruiter or a hiring manager. Now, you might not be paying for the LinkedIn premium, but you should have at least some basic access to look up people, connect with them, follow them, etc. And if you just have your LinkedIn information, then it's probably a little bit safer than having your email, your telephone, your address. If you really want to get in contact with someone, they can follow you or they can get in contact with you on LinkedIn. For me, on my resume, all I have is the LinkedIn URL and then my email address. I don't have phone number, I don't have address, I don't have city, state, any of that. So I don't mind. I mean, I'm sure over the years I've gotten spam and junk mail, but it either just goes to the spam filter, or if it doesn't look like it's right, I can mark it as spam, and then I never get anything in my inbox from that company or from that organization in the future. So that's how I handle it, but I don't put my cell phone or address on there. Try not to give out too much information because Lord knows where your information is going to end up doing nothing besides just applying for a job. This next post really confused me, and I'm really hoping in the comments you can help clarify what in the wide world of sports is going on down here. This was something I found on LinkedIn, and it's from Christopher, who says, "Unfortunately, a company insisted I give them a reference from my current company. And well, you know how that works out when the current director finds out. Hashtag open to work. About me and what I'm looking for. I'm looking for HR business partner, employee relations, senior human resources. I'm open to roles in the greater Tampa Bay area. The second part is not what is confusing me. It's the first part. So a company, upon just applying to a job, is asking for a reference. First and foremost, with how many ghosts and fake jobs there are out there, I'm not even putting real information. I'm certainly not putting my friends or my network's email address in there, at least not the real email address, because there's no reason to ask for references. There's no reason to really ask for a lot of this stuff if you know that they're fake jobs, besides just trying to get information. Because if I put my friend or colleagues' information out there, then not only will the spammers that they sell my information to have mine, but they'll also be able to sell my network's information as well. So now you can email me, and you can email 2 or 3 people in my network as well. So you're getting 4 people's information from one job application. And he's saying, I gave my reference to my current company, and well, you know how that works. I actually don't know how that works. I mean, are you giving the reference to your actual manager that you are working for right now? Because I don't think that you have to do that, and I wouldn't do that until I felt pretty confident I had an actual job offer. Certainly nowhere in the beginning of the process. So if you need a network from a job, ask one of your former colleagues who's a friend. If you need a manager, hopefully you've made a contact with someone who's not your actual real manager right now. Because if you're just giving your real manager's information out during the hiring process, I mean, that's not very wise. So I actually don't know how that works out when the current director finds out, because I would never give someone's information out as a reference that work with me currently. Probably be from a former corporation, but if it had to be someone at my existing organization, I'd totally give just one of my friends or colleagues, not my actual boss. That sounds terrible, but let me know if I'm misreading this, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Next on LinkedIn, Felix says, lately I've been thinking a lot about the job hunt, especially as a designer. And here's the honest truth I keep coming back to. It doesn't matter how good your portfolio is, how many years you've worked, or even how solid your network might be. If you're applying through an online system, chances are you're getting filtered out before a human ever sees your work. What does seem to work? Building relationships with recruiters. That's the pattern I keep seeing. It's not just about clicking apply anymore. It's about making real connections with the people who know how to get your work in front of a hiring manager. So if you're in the middle of the search like I am, start reaching out. Start talking to people. Start building those relationships. Because beating the system might just mean going around it with a little help from someone on the inside. And I'm really glad I found this post, because this is related to something that I've been trying to do recently. And while that sounds nice and it sounds like it might be a good strategy, for me and what I've tried, it has not worked out at all. I've reached out to so many recruiters and staffing agencies. In the state in which I live, I called every staffing agency or temp agency that I could find in the 3 major cities in my state. And most of them just went to voicemail, didn't answer. Rarely I was able to get a hold of a receptionist, and they would not even leave a message for anybody. They'd transfer me to a recruiter, and then that recruiter wouldn't answer. Very few and far between, I got someone to call me back, and very, very rarely, like once in a blue moon, someone actually answered who was a recruiter, and I talked to them. I maybe talked to like 2 or 3 people after calling 3 cities worth of staffing companies. So I can kind of understand that staffing companies might not have jobs, but not to even answer your phone call, not even to build a relationship, to put your information in a database for the future, like that's unbelievable to me. Like I don't understand how any of these staffing companies are even still in business if they don't answer the phone and don't call you back. When someone's reaching out, trying to get a hold of you, I mean, you don't even have to reach out and try to get a hold of me. I'm telling you the jobs that I could be a good fit for. Usually, 5 years ago, you'd work with a staffing company or recruiter, and maybe they look at your resume, work back and forth, and eventually be like, all right, I think this is good enough to present to my client. Apparently, no one's got any clients. And then secondly, yes, getting in touch with someone in HR, someone in talent acquisition at a company might be your foot in the door, might be someone who can really help you and put your resume on someone's desk on the desk of the hiring manager or someone who's going over the budget or something like that. But from my reality over the past month, I've reached out to many people who are on talent acquisition and human resources, and the majority of them don't even accept my LinkedIn request. Even if they have LinkedIn Premium, they're not accepting it. I mean, I don't know why I'd pay, what is it, $30 a month to not look at LinkedIn. And I might see that some of them still post and stuff like that, but they're not accepting my request. So I don't really know what's going on. And then the few that did accept my request, most of them, when I just say, hey, thanks for accepting my connection or whatever, don't respond to me. Or I even have like a little bit of a template, like introducing myself. Hey, your company is very interesting to me. I see that you have a lot of roles that I'd be a good fit for. So I just wanted to make a connection. Not begging for a job, not asking you to put my resume on the desk, nothing like that. And a lot of those didn't respond, but I think I got two people at companies that did respond. And their response to me was basically to tell me that go and create a job alert, like go and submit your resume online. So yeah, even if you get in contact with someone in talent acquisition in HR, doesn't mean that they're going to even respond to your request. Doesn't mean that they're going to answer your message that you send, even if it's a nice, generic, vague message. And they certainly aren't going to take your information and put it out there. I mean, I would at least expect like, hey, for them to say, if you do see something down the road that's a good fit for you, just let me know, because I'm sure they should get some kind of bonus or perks for placing someone. Now, if there's no fit, okay, fine. I mean, I'm not expecting them to look every day for a job for me, but at least say, hey, thanks for reaching out. If you see something that's a good fit, let me know. I mean, something like they're just like, don't bother me. I'm too busy for this. Even though I'm in talent acquisition, I don't know. I guess many people could be reaching out to them, but I don't know if that's really the case. So to make the real connection, I think it's too late, right? They say the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best is today. Well, with networking, the best time to make strong connections with people was 5 years ago, and there is no today. The trees are no longer being planted. There's no new soil. There's no new place to plant and grow your trees. It's too late, is what I'm saying. Like if you don't already have a good network and a good connection and good connections with people at places that you'd want to work, I don't think you can make new fresh connections in this job market. We continue with LinkedIn, where Misbah talks about one of the most recent job scams that she's seeing. And she says, sharing my recent experience, job scam alert. I want to share something that happened to me recently in hopes to help someone else avoid the same trap. I was contacted on LinkedIn about a remote job opportunity with what appeared to be Indiana Farm Bureau insurance. The recruiter seemed legitimate, profile looked professional, even had a verified badge. Soon after, I received an offer letter and onboarding instructions, all without a single interview. Then came the real red flags. I was told a $2,450 check would be mailed to me for equipment and training. They asked me for my full name, address, and phone number. The training partner emailed me from an Outlook email, not a company domain. Everything felt rushed and too good to be true. So I think the problem with this is she saw red flags too late. She's saying, then came the real red flags. I mean, I feel like at the beginning of that process, there was red flags. So hopefully this is a job that you actually applied to with the Indiana Farm Bureau insurance. Hopefully at least that lined up. And then, yeah, legitimate profiles. Okay, this one is a little bit tricky because I've been reached out to before and I've looked up and found the person that is supposedly reaching out to me on LinkedIn. I found their website and it was a real company. But now I know going forward, if you see someone like that, try to message them, connect with them, follow them, something to get in touch with that person and say, hey, did you message me? Because people are stealing people's LinkedIn profile pictures and using them as their own. Plus, she noticed that it was an Outlook email later on, but probably if she looked at the previous emails, it wouldn't match up with the official website of the company. No, I don't know what this company's proper website is, but if you're getting emails from Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo as opposed to Jeff at indianainsurance.com or something like that, then that's a red flag. And sometimes Gmail, they collapse the proper email address. So you want to expand that and look at what the email address is. So yes, they could hide or mask their email address to make it seem like it's from the company. They can steal real people's pictures to make it seem like they're from that company. And they can even say like a website that is close. But then you also want to look at like any links or any information, or the footer where they sign the information. Is the website close but not exactly it? So if it is indianainsurance.com in this example, maybe it's like a completely different web address that doesn't actually go there at all. So those are a couple of things you can look at before you even get to being sent an offer. And really, if you're being sent an offer, that's a huge red flag. Nobody in this job market, probably ever, but certainly not in today's job market, is going to give you a job offer without talking to you on the phone. Definitely if they just say, hey, you'd be a good fit for this, we'd like to make you an offer, like out of the blue without talking to anyone, that's super sketchy, and you should shy away from that. And the reality is most of these companies are not going to even spend $5 on you for training, nonetheless $2,500. And then they ask for all your personal information, and this is the first time this person saw the Outlook email and not a company domain. So this wouldn't seem too good to be true to me. This would just be, I feel like I'm getting scammed. Probably a lot earlier than Misbah, but maybe I've been through more experiences than she has. Misbah continues and says, thankfully, I did some digging and discovered that Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance has issued a warning. This is a scam, and they are not hiring through LinkedIn DMs or Outlook emails. To anyone out there searching for jobs, please be extra careful. Scammers are getting better at looking legitimate. Always double check email domains, look for inconsistencies, and trust your instincts. If you're unsure, reach out directly to the company through their official website. Stay safe and feel free to share this with someone in your network who might need this. I've already gone over in this episode my struggle to get in contact with a person who's not connected with me on LinkedIn. So yeah, maybe you fill out a form online or call their customer service or ask that company questions. And it's annoying and it's a seemingly waste of time to do this. But I mean, if you're getting offers like this, you need to make sure, or at least report them. I don't know if that's going to help, but you don't want to spend all this time trying to get your identity back or cancel credit cards or things of that nature. So you want to make sure, if it doesn't make your spidey senses tingly, if you feel like it might be okay, still reach out, do some investigation, and see if this is okay or not. Usually it's hard to find anyone being real and honest and open on LinkedIn. I mean, over the past month, it's got a little bit easier just to see people share their stories. If you watch this channel for a while, a lot of times I had to go to Reddit because no one would say anything like real or meaningful on LinkedIn. Now people are getting to the desperate stage where they're actually sharing their real stories and the struggles of what's going on. But this is the realest LinkedIn post that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I had to share it with you. Now, a lot of this is bleeped out because this person gave 0 Fs, but I wanted to share this with you because I've never seen anyone go on a rant like this in the history of LinkedIn. So this is from Aiden, and Aiden says, just wanted to say, I hate LinkedIn. I've never felt more un-LinkedIn. This website is supposed to be a website to network to get jobs, but employers half the time are so bleeping stuck up. They'll look at your status, which may or may not say looking for work, and will just deny your application or ignore it instantaneously. Not to mention, this website is literally a social networking site by all definition in its current state. Why would anyone use this website? There are 2 answers. If you're bleeping down on your luck and don't know any better websites, or if you're a corporation who complains about not having enough workers or people don't want to work, but then turn around and use AI algorithms to screw over people who actually want to work and be a stupid blinking pawn in your company. Then there's a third secret option, a corporation that puts up ghost jobs to trick shareholders, idiots who suck all the common sense away from these companies, and investors. I don't know any worthwhile investors other than other companies into believing the company is thriving, but it's actually dying because the employees are being told they are replaceable every bleeping day, and the productivity is low because nobody in the right bleeping mind would work their butt off for ungrateful managers and higher ups. Those are the three main demographics on this website, and it bleeping sucks. I might only use this website whenever I need to, not want to, because nobody wants to use this bleeping website. I hate saying this because LinkedIn hasn't done anything to me, but it's the bleeping principle that I just cannot stand for. People are giving no F's anymore. They're just being honest and straightforward with their opinion because why not? At least you can vent, get it off your chest. But let me know what you think about what Aiden just said, and also what do you think about these job scams? Are there some other scams that you've seen that weren't posted here or talked about in today's episode? Love to hear your personal stories and your thoughts on these matters down in the comments below. Talk to you later.